Let me tell you a story, not just any story, but a story of pain, struggle, and ultimate victory. Picture this: a young girl born into a world that told her she was not enough, a world that set limits before she even had a chance to dream. They told her she was too weak, too emotional, too fragile to lead, to own, to build. But she refused to listen. There was a young woman named Malika, growing up in a village where girls weren't allowed to study past a certain age. Her family loved her, but the traditions were stronger. The rules were written long before she was born. At the age of 12, she was pulled out of school and told, "This is your life now. Learn to cook, learn to clean, because one day that will be your only purpose." But Malika had something they didn't see. She had focus, a mind so sharp, so determined that even the chains of tradition couldn't hold her down. Every night, after finishing her work, she would sneak books into her room, reading by candlelight, filling her mind with knowledge, expanding her world. The world tried to tell her no, but she kept saying yes. Against all odds, she found a way. She ran away to the city, worked 2 jobs, educated herself, and today she stands as a doctor, saving lives. She wasn't born with privilege. She wasn't handed opportunity. She created it with the power of a focused mind. This is not just Malika's story. This is the story of millions of women around the world. Women who have been told to sit down, to stay quiet, to accept what they are given. But I am here to tell you that the world belongs to those who refuse to accept limits. It belongs to the women who dare to dream, who refuse to bow down, who choose to stand up even when their legs are shaking. Why do most people quit? Why do so many women with so much potential give up before they even get started? It's because the world has trained them to believe that their struggles are too big, that their voices don't matter. But let me tell you something. Every great movement, every revolution, every change in history started with someone who refused to quit, someone who believed when no one else did. Let's talk about psychology. Let's talk about what happens when you truly lock in, when you focus your mind so deeply on your goal that nothing else matters. Science has proven that when you focus on a goal with all your energy, your brain rewires itself to find solutions. That's why people who succeed don't do so by accident. It's intentional, it's strategic. They decide that failure is not an option. They decide that quitting is not in their vocabulary. Take Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty, told she would never make it, abused and rejected by the very industry she tried to break into. They told her she wasn't good enough, that her voice wasn't right, that she didn't have the look. But she stayed focused. She knew she had something inside her that the world needed. Today, she's one of the most powerful women in media. Not because it was easy, but because she refused to accept no as the final answer. Serena Williams, one of the greatest athletes of all time, didn't come from wealth, didn't have a clear path. She faced racism, sexism, and endless criticism. But she didn't let the noise distract her. She stayed locked in. She trained when others slept. She practiced when others partied. And now she stands as a legend. Women throughout history have had to fight twice as hard for half the recognition. They have had to work twice as long to get half the pay. But here's the truth. Every step, every struggle, every sacrifice is building something greater. Every time you refuse to give up, every time you keep pushing, you are rewriting history. You are setting a new standard. You are showing the world that nothing can stop a woman with a focused mind. You see, the problem isn't ability. The problem isn't intelligence. The problem is belief. Too many women have been told for too long that they don't belong at the table, that they don't deserve the seat, that they should be happy with whatever scraps they are given. But let me tell you something. You don't wait for a seat at the table. You bring your own chair. You don't wait for permission. You take what's yours. You don't ask if you're good enough. You tell them that you are. You have to get up every morning and remind yourself that you are not a mistake, that your dreams are valid, that your vision matters, that your voice deserves to be heard. Because if you don't believe it, nobody else will. Imagine a world where every woman realized her full potential. Imagine a world where no girl was told she couldn't. Imagine a world where every woman who had a dream chased it with everything she had. That world is possible. But it starts with focus. It starts with locking in on what you want and refusing to let go, no matter what stands in your way. So I challenge you today. What are you focused on? Are you focused on the obstacles or are you focused on the goal? Are you focused on the voices telling you no, or are you focused on the voice inside you screaming yes? Because that voice, that fire inside you, that is your power, that is your strength, that is your weapon against a world that will try to break you. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need approval to be powerful. You just need to decide that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you are unstoppable. And when you do that, when you make that decision, there is nothing that can stand in your way. This is your time. This is your moment. Lock in, focus, fight. And don't you ever quit, because the world needs what you have inside you. The world is waiting for you to rise.